Seabrook, Texas. A rainy day here at Keels and Wheels. We're going to start our show here in about 15 seconds. So thanks so much for joining us today. This is the In Wheel Time program, and we are going to have a great time. We've got a great guest already lined up, and he's sitting right across from us right now. So stand by, and you ready, Jeffrey? Yeah. Okay, here we go. From the 25th Annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance, this is the In Wheel Time Car Show. On today's expanded live show without music, we'll have celebrated guests, dignitaries, and participants in this weekend's concours. We'll also review our new and pre-owned cars of the week. Conrad will have his car clinic, I hope.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more is just ahead on today's live 4-hour In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, May 1st, 2021. Today's In Wheel Time is sponsored by Bayway, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin over here, our chief engineer David Ainsley.
He's the dignitary.
I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. And so just a little preview of what's going on for our worldwide audience this morning. It is raining cats and dogs. Well, not actually. It's just raining rain. And it's been raining since yesterday, really, in the middle of the night.
Isn't there a Beatles song, Rain?
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But at any rate, it's raining, and we've had fun time setting up this morning. And yours truly forgot the power supply to the computer and then forgot the controller for the commercials. So guess what? We're going 4 hours wall to wall with nothing but nonstop talk for y'all. That's a Texas line, by the way. Yeah, did you hear?
Y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all.
Yeah.
That's plural for y'all.
I can't hear him, David, for some reason.
That may be a blessing.
It is a blessing in disguise.
David, turn that off.
Mr. Mars, thanks for all your help and consideration in today's setup.
Organization. Awesome.
What did you do?
Well, I did nothing. Just stand here and look pretty.
That's exactly right.
That's what you call it. I did even less, so I have nothing to say.
Well, let's see who did the most, David.
Yeah, it looks like David did most of everything.
Heitzman did.
And let's not forget Jeffrey Heitzman.
Jeffrey Heitzman saved the day.
The In Wheel Time Fan Club president, Jeff Heitzman, who's here in person. He's right there.
Right, yeah.
And we'll have him on camera here very soon. But at any rate, thanks to everybody who tried to make this all work without my help, clearly. It was more of a hindrance to be here. But
we're good. We're here. We're live.
We're
hot.
right.
He's going to need to see
So
HR.
let's get right to this. This is the 25th Annual Keels in Wheels Concours d'Elegance, as I mentioned earlier. It is a wonderful setup that they have here at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. We're right along the bay. And
stunning campus to do this on,
yeah,
with all these beautiful trees and stuff that are protecting all these cars from the rain.
In bloom.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Now, it will be a couple of hours before the show officially opens to the public. So we're here a couple of hours early, and we've expanded our show to go all the way till noon today on purpose.
Without music.
Without commercials. Commercial free.
Commercial free.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
Brought to you by Bayway.
Bayway, yeah. And the fine group of dealerships. So thank you very much, and we'll make all this good, I hope, if you don't bail on us after this. So thank you.
It's going to be so good you're going to miss it if you leave it.
Yeah. And I'm going fishing at 12:30.
Yeah, he brought his cane pole, so he's all ready to go.
Turn around by 12:30.
So our very first special guest is Billy Stabile, who I've been on the phone with a few times. He flew in from L.A., and his arms aren't sore at all.
Not at all.
Not
Somebody
at all.
had to do it.
So Billy Stabile is the guy that provided all of the movie cars to Ford versus Ferrari. And that is the theme here today. It is the Ford versus Ferrari themed show.
Feature.
And salute to the Ferrari, the P330 B3.
I'm going to go with P3.
P3. Okay, P3, and then there is the Ford GT 40.
Yes.
40 inches from the ground to the top of the windshield.
Yes.
I did my homework.
You're
a
good.
little.
You're good.
No, I'm not. But thank you anyway.
But he can read.
Yeah, I can read. Kind of.
Some days.
But that's not the only thing that Billy has done. He grew up in the movie business and the car business and combined the two. It was your dad that started Hollywood movie cars, right?
No, and my dad was on staff with Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that told me not to go into my own business.
Yeah.
And I did not listen.
But hey.
But you've been successful.
It put bread on the table. And you got a nice collection of cars.
And all day, yesterday while we were bringing cars in, I just thought of him the whole time. I wish he could be here with us. You know,
cool.
He passed years ago, but he would have been in his glory.
Yeah.
He would have been in his glory through the movie of Ford versus Ferrari to be around all that.
So your dad was a car person.
He was a definite car person, yeah. He started. He did American Graffiti, 2-lane blacktop.
Oh, okay.
He did. Him and Paul Newman had a little riff going on, which is a funny story. When Paul Newman was on the Universal lot, my dad had a Volkswagen from the neighbor kid that they put a Porsche engine in the 60s, which was unheard of. The 1600 dual carb into a Bug, and Paul Newman saw my dad, and Newman had just been sponsored by Volkswagen to show the Bugs off, and they had a little race in the back lot.
Oh, gosh.
My dad won.
I was going to say. And he embarrassed Paul Newman.
He did. Next week, Paul Newman had a Volkswagen with a Chevy V8. I don't know if you ever saw that article about him with putting a V8 in a Bug. It was just found recently, and that's because of him and my dad, which is
what a great
stories
story.
like that.
Do you now own the car?
Pardon me?
Do you now own the car?
No.
No,
not yet.
Your dad's Volkswagen.
No.
Okay.
But
Not yet.
I am.
Not yet.
I am going to find that V8 Bug, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I guess I wanted to really kind of start with you on your background, and since we're talking Ford versus Ferrari, we're going to get into other things here.
Sure,
We've got
yeah.
plenty of time.
Oh, good. I'll bore you to death.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Not after the conversation that I had with you on phone. I could not find. I was trying to write an article on the two cars that appear here, the Ford versus Ferrari cars. Well, as it turns out, there's more than one car, more than one movie car.
Correct.
That appeared in the film, and trying to drill it down to the actual cars that appeared here, it was calling this person, calling that person, and I wound up with Billy. Well, just call him. He's got it. Lugnut. Call him. So, okay, great. So called him and talked to him, and he set me straight on the cars that are going to appear here. Well, that are actually here. And it was a fun conversation with you on the phone, and I appreciate the time.
I do too.
Now, you said that we started off this conversation that you have actually retired.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How did it work out? I mean, I realized that it was 2 years ago that the movie was shot.
Right.
But
I've never been busier. At the premiere in Hollywood, I kind of met my producers and everybody I worked with over the years, and thanked them, shook the hand, said it's been great. I'm moving on. I'm not going to do this for a living anymore. And it seems like in Hollywood, the more you tell them they can't have something, they want it more.
Yeah.
But no, it's the amazing thing is this movie, keep in mind, it's been 2 years ago when it came out. 2 years ago. And wherever these cars appear draws a crowd like I've never seen. It's amazing. You know, I did Inception. I did Dark Knight Rises. And, you know, after the movie, everyone can't believe, oh, wow, that train looked real. Well, it was real. We bought a Peterbilt and had a train body put on it. And a month or two, movie comes out, it's gone. This is 2 years later. And we're bringing cars out here to draw a crowd, right? To bring people out to enjoy and see them up close.
Yes.
And I've probably done 35 to 40 of these with these cars, and everyone's requesting the different cars. Can you bring Ken Miles' car out? Can you bring whatever was in the movie to the interest? And 2 years later, here we are. Amazing.
Still doing
I
it.
never thought.
Well, it shows the passion people have for those two brands. The GT40 and the Ferraris, you know, there's just a love for both of those cars themselves. And then you building them to do the movie, and the movie, I think, being such a huge success. You know, there's good reason for them to continue to have you to come on out to these kinds of events.
And the success of the actual race itself in 1966 and the story behind it.
Right.
Because it's certainly a legacy. They didn't make the movie just for the heck of it. there was a story behind it all.
Correct.
And I'm not going to get into all of that, but it was Carroll Shelby's relationship with Henry Ford that actually motivated him to
And Henry's distaste for Enzo.
Enzo. Yeah, exactly. And it went on, and it's quite a story to tell.
Well, the cool thing is, I think the other car movie that still is kind of an icon would be American Graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So my dad did that. I did this, and it's kind of heartwarming to know that.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of
That's a tradition followed.
Yeah, and I think this will be around for a long time, and it was so great to see kids at all these car shows that I go to with these cars. I just got a weak spot for the kids that
Clamor over the cars.
you want to get them involved into an industry,
Yeah.
a part of the industry that's slipping away.
Right.
You know, when I first started, there was a lot of creativity. We brought into the product. We were able to come up with our sketches and our ideas. Unfortunately, not this movie, but in other movies, you're kind of directed exactly what
They
you
want
have to build. Here's the blueprints. Don't change a color. Tint. Don't change a dimension. This is what it is, which takes the fun away.
Yeah, it takes your creativity away from.
Creativity. And I got to do Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell. I don't know if anyone ever saw that.
Yeah.
And I was able to use my creativity on the cars I chose to fall out of the sky as to being in the movie theater scene, the Hummer H1 limo where the dinosaur was trying to get to him, the ice cream truck. That's fun when you could go to the production designer and have these conversations. What do you think about this? You know, it should have an awning with different colors, you know, the old 50s style.
Get the creativity going.
I love creativity.
Well, and then the bordering on craziness, because I would assume, I don't know, Will Ferrell, but watching all of his movies, I think there's a little crazy in his head.
You think, yeah. We'll talk about that later.
So I think he really enjoys the difference you bring to his movie as well.
Yeah. I think that's how, you know, the guys in the day, Dean Jeffries, George Barris, those guys were the ones that built the studios. They built us a car for the monkeys. I don't think they were given blueprints or they were given direction. They were just, you know, this is what we're looking for. Can you build us something that represents that?
Yeah. And we've had Gene Winfield on the show a couple of times. What a
God bless him. still going, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's still doing everything. He's really, other than I think a couple of years ago he fell, but I think he's still very,
going.
very active.
Back,
and
yeah.
It's like California weather.
Yeah, that's desert weather,
that
sir.
And clean living. Out in the desert.
Yeah, right. He's in.
No, he's in.
No, he's in California.
I thought he was in Arizona. Did he move to Arizona?
No,
No,
he's
no,
out in
no,
the
he's-
Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere out past
Well, he says
Bakersfield.
keep going.
Yeah.
It's dry.
So let's drill back now. Let's go to the Ferrari movie, Ford versus Ferrari, and let's talk about when did you get the phone call that says, "Hey man, would you be interested in supplying us the cars?"
Well, let's go back 10 years
Okay.
almost to it was, the book is Go Like Hell.
Okay.
That's the
The
original
movie
book.
was based off of, yeah.
And there was talk that Tom Cruise was going to do it with another director. And they came to my shop because I had the cars from Fast 5, the GT40s. I had the Buck, which is the one that's cut in half to film the interiors. I had the stunt car, and I had the hero car. The stunt car is usually set up with a special brake system, more horsepower, and the hero one is the
The
pristine.
beauty shot.
The beauty shot. Doesn't do much of anything. It just looks pretty.
That's what we have Don here for. Don's our hero.
So they came into the shop, and they looked at this, and it was pretty heartbreaking to hear what Tom Cruise was going to do to this movie. And I'm glad, nothing against Tom Cruise, but I'm glad they stuck with James Mangold and went this way to a more correct view of the situation, other than we didn't want Tom Cruise with a gun shooting 10 miles.
Right.
Well, and that movie, Ford versus Ferrari, had to have fact bases in it. It couldn't be too much fantasy because everybody who's a car nut knows the story.
And that's it. And, at car shows, wherever we go presenting the cars, people come and say, he really didn't do this, and that wasn't crazy. I said, look, it's not a documentary.
Yeah,
if you want to see a
right.
documentary, go see the 24-Hour War. But if you want to see something to bring the whole family and everyone can enjoy,
Entertainment.
this is what it is.
And have a great backstory to it.
Great backstory. And that's the other thing. Keep in mind, we're representing a family. Aaron Shelby's here.
Right.
We're representing Hollywood's trying to represent his family, which I understand is that's a lot of weight on your shoulder to not offend someone or make them feel like that was wrong.
Yeah, and
So-
to do it with honor.
So did you have all the cars in stock? You had to go out and get some.
No,
had
that's
some.
the,
I know that you had some made.
I had a lot made. Yeah, that was funny. Is I called Ford and I said, hey, there's this great movie we're going to do, and I'm looking for some back. Hello.
Right.
Click.
Yeah. No one thought this was going to be anything what it turned out to be. So I called up RCR Race Car Replicas in Michigan, and I said, I'd like to shut your business down for 8 months. What do you think? And he's the only one that didn't hang up. He said, I'm interested. So I outsourced to him to build the tubs. They are race cars. They're not just Volkswagen chassis with different
Yeah,
bodies.
I would.
They're aluminum tubs. They're coil-over suspension. They're all CNC A-arms. And you could set them up, and they're 500 horsepower with 2,100 pounds. And
Whoa.
Don't,
So it'll light it up.
yeah, they will, just like on Harbor, whatever that street is out here.
Yeah.
So with that, they built the cars from a blank slate.
Yeah,
these weren't some converted IMSA car, converted Trans Am car.
I went to Fran, and this is the schedule. This is what we need. And he goes, well, I don't have anything, and we shut him down, and he stuck with it, and got tough for a while with the demands, because every day, I wasn't asking for complete cars from him. Just give me something to start with, which the Hollywood Teamsters took. After I got them from Fran, they went to my shop. We did some assembly. Then it went to the studio guys, and they would do the final. And Fran, had to keep up with the heavy demand. Then I flew down to Atlanta, met Chuck Beck. Anybody know Chuck Beck?
Nope.
Beck Speedster, Beck Spider.
Okay,
Yes.
Beck Spider, I know that.
Right.
So Chuck is in his 80s, which is an amazing man. And I walked in his place, and I bought a couple 904s, a couple Speedsters. It was just like it started to get down to the wire. Where
Yeah, I'll take two of these.
two
and
of
two
those.
of these.
Yeah. Yeah, and Corvettes, Porsches, and everything you see, those were just purchases. But I got to tell you, the toughest purchase was trying to find 20 Falcons in 1963.
Right, because they went down the assembly line, and you had to have lots of them. Yep.
Go try and find 20.
Right.
It was pretty tough.
Because they weren't really solid cars when they were built to begin with, much
Correct.
less have them last this long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was tough.
And some that aren't modified because there's enough of them that people have built into street cars and
yeah, I did the budget. I figured, I'm going to spend $2,000 a car, so this will be my budget. And next thing you know, I'm on eBay spending $8,000-9,000 for one because I'm getting the pressure. Like, we need the cars now, so money comes secondary. Just get the product to them and worry about it later.
And then the Falcon Club goes, hey, they're trying to buy a bunch of them for a movie.
Yeah.
Everybody bump your price
Well,
up.
if I could tell you a funny story about that is I would line them up in areas like, for some reason, Bakersfield was a hot hit for Falcons, and I don't know why.
Oh, how wild.
So I'd go and buy a couple Falcons, say, I'm going to have my guy pick it up, and I didn't tell him it was a movie business because then all budgeting goes out the window. And then I guess when the car carrier showed up with 3 Falcons on it and they're picking up number 4, he kind of caught on. So,
so the price
cat
went
was
up
out
for
of
the
the
next
bag.
couple of them.
Yeah, there was hardly any negotiating going on.
So what did you do with all of those cars, just the Falcons themselves, which wouldn't be a feature car in the movie, but, you had to go out and find 20 of them. So what eventually happened to all those cars?
I still have most of the cars. What they did is they did the assembly line from basic shells to finished cars coming off. So a lot of them got completely dismantled, and those start in the back. And then as they moved down the assembly line, more parts got put on, and they got painted. The last 6 or 7 of them got painted and looked like complete drive-off cars.
But after you bought them, you still have them, and they've not gone back out into the market somewhere.
Well, what's funny is I have a warehouse out in Ventura where I park them in an open lot, and people come by all the time and say, "Man, you sure like Falcons." What are you doing?
No,
with all
those are just
Falcons?
the ones we leave outside. You should see what's in the building.
You see what's inside. Don't go inside. But yeah, that was a tough one, and I thought that was going to be the easiest, but.
And then also, when they showed some of the shots inside Shelby's build, I don't know if it was a warehouse or anything, but there was some Daytonas, and some other Shelby and a number of Cobras.
Yeah.
Were those all cars that you had found, or were they all replicas?
That credit goes to a guy named Rick, who was the picture car coordinator. He reached out to Alan Grant. Alan Grant donated his car, or rented his car, and a lot of owners did rent their car for 1 to 2 day shots, and that's when
because they wanted their car in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
And somebody was willing to pay him to put it in.
Yes. As the movie went on, the struggle to get more money declined. The struggle got easier. It was a phone call. We need 3 more of these tomorrow. Well, I need them. And you see why the end product turned out to be what it is.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
A collection of cars like the Peterson Collection.
Yes.
Were you given any access to some of their cars for the movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say that would be a pretty cool spot to bounce off of.
And what's interesting, we took about 6 cars up to the Peterson right after the movie and did a whole display up there. And the guys that have purchased a lot of these cars have formed a whole website, Ford versus Ferrari Owners Club, and these guys
Pretty
have all
elite
stuck
club.
together. So whenever there's something going on, these guys will all bring their cars to one of those shows, whether it's
that even makes it
906
better,
Porsche or whether it's a GT40 or a Ferrari.
So let's talk about the GT40 for a second.
Yeah.
We talked about the Ferrari. You had those built, and they had Chevy engines in them.
Oh, you had to say it. Just had to. Couldn't leave it at 1-843-6572, could he?
Sorry.
Don, you're giving up the ghost. Those were Ferraris. Did you not listen to them in the movie?
Yeah.
You could hear
But
them
I'm sorry
in the
to
movie.
interrupt you. Go ahead.
No,
with
it's
the
okay.
GT40.
We
So
interrupt them all
so
the
the
time.
GT40, those were tubbed cars like the Ferraris.
Identical, not identical, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same thing.
what about bodies?
Bodies were popped off at Fran. He had the mold to the original Mark 1, Mark 2. He had those, so he was popping off the bodies for
Wow.
us. Yeah.
Okay.
And those are Chevy powered also.
Right.
Except there was 1 or 2 that we used that were Ford powered.
Right. And I think that the one that's here is Ford powered.
That one's Ford power. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's one of the two, and things. My memory works for me. It went for almost $500,000, I think.
Somewhere around 487.50 in that
Right,
area.
$500,000 at auction a couple of years ago after the movie was done.
Yeah.
And it's in a private collection, but that's the one that's here.
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So you've still followed all of these cars, even though some of them have gone to owners. You still stay in contact with them?
Oh, yeah. They're all looking for little parts and pieces. And you got anything else? Do you have any posters? Do you have any, gas caps? Do you have any mirror? It's just amazing, the stuff that, I have the windshield that he threw the wrench at, and I won't let go of that. It's like it's going to be donated to the museum up in Northern California, but it's like real estate is real expensive in California.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like collecting watches. When you collect, we already had over 100 cars in our inventory, so to throw another 100 on top, it's like, okay, stuff's got to go.
Either that or I got to stack them.
Not stacking. Well, we are stacking. But, so.
Never say never.
Never say never. So, you have to get rid of some stuff, and a lot of stuff went really quick, and I took a step back, and I'm going, I'm never going to see this stuff again, and, I have that windshield, and I don't know, there's just a...
Well, you said the museum in Northern California. You talking about Blackhawk?
No, it's a Shelby.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in Shelby.
Well, let's talk about some of the other cars, because there are more than just the GT40 and the P330 P3.
Yeah, if I called you up out of the ad in Hemmings or Craigslist or eBay, I bought your Corvette. I was buying Corvettes left and right. I was buying the Falcons. I was buying Porsches. I was buying whatever whatever.
Any Corvairs in that mix? No Corvairs?
No.
So
That's an inside joke.
So the collection that you now have.
Yeah.
And you do have your own personal collection.
Correct.
Out of a lot of these movie cars.
Correct.
Let's talk about that. What is your most prized possession that you have?
55 Chevy.
Nice.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's not the one in American Graffiti.
Well, my dad gave me, when my dad did American Graffiti, then he went, we did 2-lane blacktop, and then they're doing American Graffiti. A guy named Richard Ruth built the cars up in Bakersfield area, Central California, for 2-lane blacktop. And they were real race cars. They were built to race, and Richard built race cars. So after that 2-lane blacktop movie, they had 3 cars. The camera car got hit pretty hard on the lot. People were taking stuff. And my dad said, hey, Universal's selling a bunch of cars. Let's go look at some cars to buy. Now I'm 12, you're 13 years old. So he goes, what about this one? I said, it's yellow, the 32 from Maverick.
Yeah.
I don't want that. He goes, what about this one? That's the car from Christine. I don't want that. He goes, look at this thing. This is the STP turbine car. From Granatelli's turbine car is sitting there. He goes, we could buy this. No, I said, I want that. And it was the 55 with no transmission, no interior, no wheels.
Just a rolling chassis.
Just a rolling chassis, and that was my first car. So I took that car home and over through my high school years and working, drove it around on the street, and I sold it for a whopping $1,700
Oh, gosh.
in 1979 to get married, and priorities, and I sold it without the engine. And then here we are up until about 10 years ago, I get a call from a guy who says, I understand you're the original owner of this car, and I'm restoring it. How can I know that you're the original owner? And I went through every freaking detail on that car. When you're young and working on a car,
Sure.
you know every
Particularly your
detail.
first one.
He started getting giggly, and then he said, I'm bringing you the car. He brought the car to me in a trailer, and I met him, and I cried like a baby.
Wow.
Did you really?
I did, because that car saved me. My buddies at that time, you're young, getting stupid. Every time I stayed home to grind off a camera mount or do whatever, those guys got in trouble or stupid. That car saved me, and I said it over and over again. It was just... So I ended up buying another 55 recently, and people come that want to buy movie cars, and that's what's for sale. I said everything's for sale
Except that one.
not that one. And I say that now. Who knows?
So, but you had the car that was in the movie when you were in high school.
Oh yeah.
Did all your friends realize that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And that's funny is I was known for the guy he has the 55 from American Graffiti 2-lane blacktop to. Here's the guy from Ford versus Ferrari, but it was a 35, 40-year span, but,
Are you still in touch with any of your buddies from high school?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So they know you.
I really didn't have buddies in high school because I only went for a short time, and I went to the dealership to work.
Yeah.
International Harvester, and I went to school from I think 6 to 10. I had ceramics and teacher's assistant, and then I was off to work, which was from 3 to midnight. I worked
That's
the
our
night shift,
connection right there. Yeah.
Never had a better time. So here I am making a great living at the age of 16, 17, full-fledged mechanic, and having money to spend on my car, and
And a space to work on it. Because that's
my
always
dad's garage. God bless him, man. I had no restrictions, none.
That's pretty cool.
No
That is-
restrictions.
Yeah, but
It
a lot of that was because you stayed out of trouble.
I
It
think
kept
so.
you busy. I mean, I kind of did that with my
I
kids.
got in trouble a little
well,
bit,
but,
but
I mean,
nothing. Yes, sir. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I told mine. You got to have something to do, or you got to go get a job after school. It's your choice.
Yeah, I think my mom and dad realized that. When they saw me buying my first house at 18, they thought, he's okay. I don't think we have to worry about him.
Yeah.
He's got his head on straight. We never got in. Growing up in a strict Italian family, and we're still all so close. My
So really,
siblings,
your last name is Stabile.
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 Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And boy, Sundays at his grandma's house
Oh, my God.
was every table had food on it.
Can I tell you a little quick story about that? Is my
Please
dad,
do.
his last movie show he did was Knight Rider, and he did that TV show as his last one before he retired. And on Sunday, Edward Mulhare would be there, Hasselhoff would be there.
Oh,
All these guys would just pop in our house on Sunday just for my mom's cooking.
That would be the Hoff.
uh,
Just the Hoff.
but he
Hawk,
wasn't
yeah.
laying on the floor eating a hamburger. That's a different
no,
story.
no.
Yeah, but they all came because they knew your grandma had
My
great
mom.
food. Your
oh,
mom,
my mom, my
was a
grandma.
great
Yeah,
cook. Yeah.
That's good
I
times.
grew up in New York, and I'd always want to go.
Well,
to-
that's where we're all from, yeah. So you know the deal. Someone has a toothache in our family. Everyone goes to church and prays and cries.
Praising God.
And then after church, you go and eat like this
Yeah.
8-course meal.
And then you're mad at this one, you're mad at that one, and you're yelling at this one, and next day everyone's
but
hugging
you
them.
would defend them with your life, even
Yeah,
while you're
right.
mad at them. Yeah.
Still love them all, yeah.
So what are you going to do out here today? Look pretty?
Well, here's the problem. I'm a real boat lover.
Oh Lord,
Oh,
he's
you
going to
got it.
buy a boat out
I'm not
here.
buying a boat, but I'm going to be I'm restoring 2 old boats right now, and I just can't believe I'm here looking at old boats.
Aren't they
I mean,
beautiful?
Isn't
my
that what
God.
this is for? Keels and wheels.
Keels and wheels.
There you
go.
So this is the wheels. I'll see you at Keels.
There you go.
Yeah.
Had you heard about this show prior to your invite?
I was invited by Bob 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then fell because of COVID and everything. And we were going to bring out 3 or 4 cars at that time, I think. And, yeah, it was just all of a sudden you get the call again. Would you like to do it? It's like, yeah,
Yeah, the collection of boats here is breathtaking.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I
think,
can't wait.
Well, 3 years ago, we were out, and there was a twin 283 Riva sitting right at
Oh,
the
my God.
edge. And I mean, my heart fell in love with it, but I couldn't afford one.
Well, lovely.
And
Nothing
then you look at the craftsmanship of the boats themselves. How do you build something that beautiful and then just throw it here in the salt water? And
That's the thing.
Well, I'm a woodworker. I love woodworking. I love mechanical, as you know, and I love electrical, and I love all that. So in a boat, you have it all.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, Billy, it's great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Fascinating.
And
Thank you enough.
we really appreciate you stopping by, and I guess I'll see you in the bar after our show's over with.
Please.
Could be.
Okay.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
A lot of
All
our
right.
people on
Hollywood
the
Movie
Thank
Car
you.
Company president is Billy Stabile.
Stabile.
Stabile. That's the best I can do. Thank you.
Watch your step.
Yeah, and welcome everybody. If you're just tuning in to the In Wheel Time program, and we appreciate you being with us. We've got more of our show coming up right after this. I hope if I could punch the right button. We're having a little. That's good.
Well, we
So-
have it, but we're not.
Because of inclement weather, the Tailpipes and Tacos December cruise-in was canceled. Darn it. The winter returns in the spring. Expect a new and exciting way to enjoy the gathering. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's unique Saturday morning cruise-in, and with a new quarterly format, you'll have more time for car mods and to get ready for cruise-in trophies. Yup, you can compete for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and more. And the top car will be featured on a full-size poster that'll be used to promote the next event. Bragging rights are guaranteed. need here. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all participants and visitors who made the event an exclusive, fun gathering of unique cars, trucks, hot rods, and lots of muscle. And we know you'll enjoy it even more in 2022. Tailpipes and Tacos will still be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, just south of I-10 at Kingsland Boulevard on 99, the Grand Parkway. Stay tuned right here to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and we'll tell you the exact date for the next event. Until next time, be sure to visit the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, where you'll find the best fajitas this side of California. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
I didn't have it set right. That's okay. Just leave it alone. Hello, everybody. We're obviously, it's whatever the case may be, it's my fault. I learned the hard way. I've had many wives.
No, he doesn't have any wives anymore.
This is a confessional.
He's had many wives.
Bless me, Father, because I have sinned.
From the 25th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance, this is the In Wheel Time Car Show. On today's expanded live show, we got celebrated guests, dignitaries, participants in this weekend's concours, a couple of surprises as well. We'll have also the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That more just ahead here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. So glad that you could join us today. I did want to remind you that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, inwheeltime.com. Podcasts available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict, to name a few. And we're so glad. I'm sorry?
You did name a few.
You did. That's a mouthful there.
I did. That was just to name a few. Yeah, that's what I said. We're so glad to have in our remote studio today Mr. Frank Campanelli. I was told that you were a VIP judge.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So tell me what that means.
I think it means that I've known Bob Fuller, who's a very dear friend and a fellow car nut.
Yeah.
We've known each other for many years, decades now, and my background is cars. It goes back to my grandfather, and I'm relatively knowledgeable about it. I'm in the financial services business. I'm a pretty senior executive in that. I actually know more about
locally?
cars. No, actually in Michigan and New York City, both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Birmingham, Michigan.
Okay. All right.
Another Detroiter.
Another Detroiter. That is Jeffrey Zekin over here.
There you go.
He's a Detroiter as well. Yeah.
Well, you said dignitary, so we're both here. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we
That's
have to
right.
include you. I know. But you don't live here.
I don't live here, although I will say that if I was going to pick another state to live in, it'd be Texas.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I'm just a little right of Attila the Hun, So.
Oh, boy.
You got to think he's in financial services, so living in a place that has no state income tax has its benefits.
Amen.
Exactly. So are you judging?
I am kind of overseeing a group of judging teams, mostly today around the Italian cars, the Ferraris and the Maseratis.
Is that your specialty?
More so than anything. The other specialty I have is in prototype cars. So this is what they call carrozzeria in Italy, the coachworks companies. They're the companies that build the bodies for the cars. So in Italy, there's companies like Bertoni, Pininfarina, Ghia, and my uncle actually ran Ghia in Italy for many years. And and built a lot of the cars that you see here today, like the Maserati Ghibli, the Ghibli Spider. And he also, his best friend was Virgil Exner, who was head of global design for Chrysler back in the 50s,
Yep.
and they were building American-Italian cars called Dual Ghia, which were the cars of the Rat Pack, actually.
Wow.
So my uncle was building those cars, and Frank Sinatra bought the first one of each series. Gene Martin bought two. Joey Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah, Peter Lawford,
Oh,
Sammy
man.
Davis Jr., Dean Martin bought two at a time for he and his wife, Jeannie. And so I was going back and forth to Italy as a little kid and watching them hand form these cars. So, a lot of these Coachworks built cars are really, truly rolling art, rolling sculpture.
Absolutely.
Guys are there hammering that sheet metal. Pretty interesting process.
Well, just a side note here. You remind me of a drag racer by the name of Joe Amato.
I worked,
yeah, I
I
know
worked
that.
for Joe Amato.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
I did.
Yeah. So that's a compliment. So at any rate, back to your specialty Italian cars, and since the Ford versus Ferrari theme we have here today, what do you think of the movie cars?
I think they're spectacular recreations. I was talking to Aaron Shelby about it earlier, and the level of quality that the builders, and they happen to be from Troy, Michigan as well.
Yeah.
The level of quality that they put into the remanufacturing of those cars is just spectacular. I mean, it would rival a lot of the Coachworks that was done in Italy at that time, and not only the actual sheet metal work, but the fabrication of the chassis and the overall engineering and re-engineering in many cases of the original
I
cars.
was going to say, in some cases, probably, forgive me, better in the recreation that they did because they've allowed the technology that wasn't even available back then.
Well, even if it's
into these
hand-formed,
cars.
there's still certain ways you can improve on a hand-formed piece of metal.
Well,
Well,
and
there
looking
is.
at the chassis and the engines and the electronics and stuff, that stuff wasn't even thought of back
No,
in
it
those
wasn't.
days.
I mean, to make your point in regard to hand forming, I mean, when I was a kid, we go in Torino, Italy. That's where a lot of the Coachworks were in and around there, Modena,
Right.
Marinello, and everything. But you would see these guys there, and they'd start forming the sheet metal. A lot of Italy got bombed out during World War II, especially in the north, and they were working their lean-tos. Right? They didn't even have buildings, and they were forming the metal over tree stumps.
Yeah.
Right? And they would take burlap sacks and fill them with sand and then harden the sand with
Pound
water
them out.
and form it and then start forming the sheet metal around it. They would weld two pieces of sheet metal together without welding rod. And those guys were so good that they knew that when that metal cooled, they would get just a compound curve that they needed to start to form that front of that fender on that Ferrari.
Isn't that
True
incredible?
artistry.
That's incredible.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So when you look at these cars, you look at the engine compartment. Can you tell if somebody's done something to the engine?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's the VIP.
Absolutely.
He's the
Yeah.
man.
From Detroit. I know this guy.
Absolutely, right down to the plating on the crown nuts on the cam covers. I mean, a lot of people will over-restore a car, and they'll think, God, that would look so much better if those were chrome nuts or they were polished stainless steel or something, and they're not supposed to be. That if it wasn't the way they were originally. Does it look better if they do it that way? In my opinion, absolutely.
Does it count
but,
off?
But if it takes points off, especially if you get into really serious point judging. I judge the shows all over the country and actually in other parts of the world as well. So I'm at Amelia Island or at Pebble Beach, Concours Italiano in Monterey Peninsula. I mean, they get right down to whether or not you have the right taillight screws and whether the screws and the hose clamps were exactly as they were back then.
So the competition is so tough at that point because everybody is trying to be the best. You got to find who's not quite there.
Well, you do, and especially when you get to the point where these cars are restored by some of the best artisans in the world, and a lot of them are right here in America today, right, that, they're so close, right, that it's very hard to find something wrong. And I'll give you an example. It must have been about 5 years ago, and Bob had me judging a class of cars, and it was sports cars, and we had two Corvettes in it. It was right here, right in front here. And there were 63 split-window Corvettes.
Great.
And so I was looking at one of them, and I was under the hood, and the guy that owned the car next to it comes up to me, and he whispers to me, and he hands me a machinist scale. Now, if any of you know anything about a machine scale, it measures right down to a 32nd of an inch, right? And I'm like, why? And he whispers in my ear. He goes, the overspray on the manifold. What about the overspray on the manifold, right? He goes, well, his is 3/4 of an inch. It's only supposed to be 5/8. I said, you're kidding me, right? So 1963, old Herman has been drinking beer all weekend, right? And they didn't have robots in '63, so he had the guy with the spray gun, right? And he's spraying like
and
this.
he was
right?
a 16th of an
and
inch.
Man,
there,
he
right?
hit that sucker within a 16th of an inch every single time he did it. It's hilarious.
Fridays or Mondays, yep.
Yeah.
But he's trying to have you find points off on the guy sitting next to him.
Well, but that's, the Corvette guys might be the worst of the worst in terms of being
Absolutely. We know that guy.
Right?
We know
well,
that
I'm
guy.
driving a C8 Corvette right now. That's my daily driver, right?
Great.
But I mean, they're nuts. You know Corvettes, right?
Yeah. Owns one.
You know the antenna tip, right? It's either a hexagon or right, or an octagon. I mean, who would know this stuff?
Right?
Corvette guys.
Yeah, those guys, right?
So, Frank, if I'm restoring a vehicle, can I reach out to you as the builder of this and say, hey, I've got a question about the nuts, the bolts, the chrome, the 3/4 of an inch? Can people reach out to you for guidance on how to restore?
Depending on the car,
In the
yes.
field that you're an
in the
expert.
field that you're in.
Yeah, they can, yeah.
So the other thing you mentioned is here in the United States there are a number of companies that do these level restorations. There's probably not a large number of them, but a number of. So do you know the idiosyncrasies of the different companies where if company A does it, here's an area I need to look at because I've seen that company make this, not mistake, but leave this short here, and then company B, they do a better job of this, but you want to look at this area that they don't quite meet spec on it?
Yeah, I mean, like you're talking about, let's say, cadmium plating or chrome work or something. There's only a couple of places in America where the prep work prior to chroming the part
More important.
will meet the standards of a high-end Concours Elegance, right? There's only a couple of them. There's probably thousands of chrome shops in America, but there's only a couple that really do it right, and you got to know who they are. I have a really good local friend here who's an astronaut. I actually grew up in Michigan in Kilo Harbor.
there you
His name
go.
is Drew Fustel, right? And he lives about 10 minutes away from here. He just came down from being up in the space station. In fact, he'll be here tomorrow. Came down from being in the space station for 6 months, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And he is a great mechanic, and he's restoring a Mercedes in his garage now, right now, as we speak. And we were looking at all of the different coatings that he was using as he's restoring all the components in the engine. I mean, this guy is serious as a heart attack about making sure it's right. Yeah, and doing the research to find who that right person is that can do it correctly. And it's really a search. And sometimes it's not in the United States. Sometimes you're sending it off to Denmark or you're back to Italy or wherever it might be. So
Because that's the only person in the world that can do it correctly.
that's
that
the only person in the
understands
world
what
can
they're
do it.
doing.
Or can do it the way that it was done originally, right? There's a Maserati Ghibli here that they had a special die where they did this puncture pattern in the seat, right? In the leather in the seat. And there was only one person in the world that has that particular die that punches the holes in just the right way, right? And he
found him.
His name is Ed. I can't remember his last name, but he owns that gray Maserati Ghibli over there, and he tracked that guy down, right?
Oh, my
to do
God.
that. This is really serious stuff, right?
But that's high. That's a high level Concours car,
Yeah,
though, too.
it is. Now, there's the reverse of that, right? And the reverse of that is there are people that believe, and I won't mention names, that they are the ultimate, expert on, let's pick Ferrari
Whatever, yeah.
as an example. So to the point I made earlier where they'll say, I'm looking at the taillights on this 1955 166 Millimilia Ferrari. And I would happen to be judging at a very special Ferrari event. And the chief judge, who is the expert, was picking apart the taillight screws. Guy had the wrong taillight screws. And I finally got so sick of listening to him. I go, listen, you are completely full of crap. All right. I mean,
Can he say crap?
yeah. And I'll tie that to Carroll Shelby right here before he passed away. He was here. But I was saying, in 1955 in Italy, that was, again, post-war Italy, they were using whatever they could get their hands on. You were lucky if you got the same taillight screws from car to car. I don't even think you'd get up to the right to left, right? Because they they just took whatever they could get their hands on.
Because all the production was destroyed.
Yeah, so what is your stable datum for those taillight screws or that hose clamp screw, whatever it might be? And just so we fast forward 10 years later, and Carol and Sterling Moss were here. I don't know if you remember that when they were here. So we were having lunch and dinner for 2 or 3 days together. And I'm sitting there listening to stories, and it got down to building cars, and I told that story. And Carol says, Frank, he goes, shit, when we were building when we were building the Cobras, I'd send the guys down to the East Hardware, and they come back with bags of screws and bolts, and that's what we used on that car that day. And if they didn't have the same ones the next day, then we got whatever we get our hands on.
Or went to the next store.
And that's in America, right? Where you get 1,000 of anything. And in Italy, you couldn't do that. So there is a little bit of baloney there with, the over judging of these cars.
The tail light screws in particular, and that doesn't surprise me. I've been to some shows, Corvette shows in particular, that are exactly the same way.
Oh, you guys are crazy. That's the last group of cars I want to judge as
Welcome
Corvettes.
to our world.
The second of that over judging of these cars.
The tail light screws in particular, and that doesn't surprise me. I've been to some shows, Corvette shows in particular, that are exactly the same way.
Oh, you guys are crazy. That's the last group of cars I want to judge as
Welcome
Corvettes.
to our world.
Enjoy it, so.
Oh, that's what they're for.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a 20-year-old one that's got 25,000 miles on it. So I'm good. It's like it's brand new. So what do you have more judging to do today, or overseeing some judging?
Yeah, well, the judging is pretty much complete right now. I'll be going upstairs after this interview, and those of us that are the quote-unquote VIP judges are looking through the show for the best of show, and then any special award winners that are cars that really require special mention. The judging process here is a point-based judging process where you're looking at the interior, you're looking at the engine compartment, you're looking in the trunk, you're looking at the quality of the chrome work, you're looking at all the headlights, the tail lights, you're looking at all the detail. But then, you might not have a car that really meets that because the person actually drives it, but it's a really special car, and it really deserves to be recognized because of that.
Yes,
so we're looking for those as well.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to ask, how does this show compare to, say, Amelia Island or Pebble Beach?
Bob and I talk about this a lot, and Bob always thinks he wants it to be like Pebble Beach.
No, it shouldn't be.
And it shldn't be.
No. Every show is unto itself.
Right. So this is the only show I can think of, one that on a non-rainy weekend, across the Saturday and Sunday, Bob will bring in 17,000 people. Right. And it's easy going, and it's casual. I'm not walking around with a blue blazer on and a white shirt and a tie, sweating my butt off,
down at Pebble Beach,
and making it, looking good as opposed to feeling good. This is a feel-good show. It's about the people, and it really is about the fact that he's bringing the community together, the community of car people together with a community of people that maybe don't know so much about them, but appreciate seeing them, and they can bring their family here. It's affordable. I mean, think about, you go to Pebble Beach today, it's $350 a ticket. You're talking $1,500. If your family afford to come in, it's crazy, right? Yeah. But you can come to this show and see some of the cars. You have Barbara Hutton's Rolls Royce right here, spectacular. The German Horsch, one of 7 that were built, off the charts car. I mean, that is a Pebble Beach winner type car. That's right here. You have it right here, and I don't know what Bob charges now. What is it? $50, 30. What does it cost?
30 bucks.
Yeah,
Yep.
30. So I'm talking about less than a third, of what it costs. So it's a third, a tenth of what it costs to go to Pebble Beach. It's a very different show, and it's the best of its type. I can't think of another show in the country that brings in this many people with this quality of cars, and it's as friendly and easygoing as this.
Somebody asked me the other day, well, what makes Keels and Wheels different than Autorama or any of the other car shows that they have around in the Houston area? And we continue to get more and more car shows here. Lots and lots of cruise-ins. You could pick a weekend and have 100 cruise-ins,
Throughout
And
the
I
city.
said, well, this is unlike any of the other car shows. And it truly is. First of all, you got the setting here at the Lakewood Yacht Club, which is absolutely stunningly beautiful. And the nice thing about this, as opposed to a golf course show, you can actually see people walking up and down the street, not getting their feet dirty or whatever the case may be. This is a truly a special show for us to be involved in, and we're lucky because we get invited back every year. We don't know why, but we do. But it's a great event for us, and because we get to meet you. Where else would we meet you? And the other guests that we've had on today. And that's part of the reason that we do these remotes, because it's a whole lot easier, trust me, to be in the studio every week and not get out.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Barry Mcguire is one of my best friends in the world, right? When we were together.
What a character.
Well, he's an unbelievable man. I mean, this guy is
full of energy, too.
Full of energy, but he's also probably the kindest, most spiritual man you will ever meet in your lifetime, if you really get to know him. But, here Barry Mcguire is invited to be, he's like a rock star. When we're at Pebble Beach, he wants to walk the show. I refuse to do it because you can't get 10 feet. So I say, Barry, the only way I'm going to walk the show, I want you to hold the phone to your ear and pretend you're talking. Otherwise we won't get from one car to another. He's surrounded by people. Right? So it speaks volumes that Barry Mcguire is here at Keels and Wheels. The other point you made about Keels and Wheels, the boats, right? Yep. I mean, the wooden boats that are here are spectacular.
I'm not a boat guy, and I can truly appreciate those boats.
There you go.
The workmanship in them. So when you come as a VIP judge in your area of specialty, which is going to be the high-level Italians and coachwork cars, you're overseeing some judges that are watching. Are you also training them, teaching them some of what your knowledge is as they're to help them become better judges, or not necessarily become better judges, but to see what you see?
If I could, I do, but it's not so much teaching as it is discussion point, right? So we're looking at a car. I might point out something that, I don't know if you notice this. They're very competent. The judges that Bob picks here are very good at what they do. Sometimes it's just that you've had a particular experience. You do your own car restorations. I have a complete machine shop in my garage, right? And I'll notice something that maybe they just didn't see, only because I just got done rebuilding that particular component in the engine compartment, as an example. So we were discussing wheels on some of the cars over there, and there was a lot of misinformation about whether or not the rims on one of those Italian cars is alloy as opposed to steel. And, there are people the ones that know, I know for sure. And it turns out that this gentleman had just a letter from the guy who actually made the alloy wheels available to those particular cars and could prove it that his car was right. And it looks better with the alloy wheels, too, by the way, right?
Certificate of authentication.
You learn something from the car owner. Right, so the more you're
that
judging,
adds to your knowledge.
Right, it's the old story. Keep your mouth shut, keep your ears open, right, and listen. Those owners will teach you volumes because they're actually going through it experientially.
Yeah, they spent the time, they've spent the money, and they've got their ears open, and they know their stuff.
So hopefully it's educational on all parts, from the owner to you, from you to the owner, and amongst the judges, you're all sharing your knowledge.
That's just the way that we feel about it in the Corvette organizations.
Oh, gosh.
So is what you do, and I think Conrad alluded to it, we've had other guests on here that have either gotten their inspiration from a family member, a father, a grandfather. Are you passing this on to a family member? Or?
Yeah, I have a 19. I'm 70, by the way. My son is 19. My daughter's 23. These are my first kids. So
I wish I looked that good.
That's the second time around, but my grandfather, I come from a family of Italian immigrants, right? And my parents were born in Italy, but my grandfather was actually in America in the early 1900s, and he was trained as a blacksmith as a kid in Italy. So he knew how to cast metal, and he knew how to machine metal and form metal. He hand-built the first Oldsmobile engine for Arioles, the 1901 curved dash Oldsmobile.
Be still my heart.
Right? but that happened because he was introduced to Arioles by Henry Ford, because my grandfather and grandmother, when they first got married, lived across the street from Henry and Clara Ford. And he used to go over with a jug of homemade wine and help Henry Ford build his first little four-wheel carriage, right? And he used to always tell the family, he goes, that Henry Ford's a great businessman, not such a good mechanic. Right?
I worked for 25 years for Oldsmobile Division.
Dude.
So I was a field engineer with them here in Easton.
So you knew Lloyd Roy's son.
I knew who he was.
Yeah.
I didn't fly at that level.
He's a good buddy. He's a very good man. Yeah.
And we had Kip Wasinko here.
Kip's here, yeah. Good friend, yeah.
He's here today?
He's here with Rika, with his girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah, we've had him on the show as well, and I kind of crossed paths with him, but he wouldn't know who I was, other than being here.
Well, he's here. If you want to, I can call him for you if you want to interview him.
Oh, I think
we're going to run out of time out here. You're helping us close this world.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I hope I did a good job.
You did a great job.
Excellent job.
Yeah,
the weather's breaking a little bit, so hopefully more people are going to come out.
Oh, it'll be good this afternoon. Yeah, real
but
good.
All kidding aside, this is a very special show. I mean, I met a lot of them all over the country, and there isn't anything quite like this. When he has the flyovers, and it's so patriotic, and everything about it is pure Americana, and that's what I love about it.
Welcome to Texas.
Beautiful setting, yeah.
Frank, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
It was a real honor and a pleasure to meet you, and we hope to run into you again soon.
It's a pleasure to meet all of you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you much,
Frank
sir.
Campanelli, VIP judge out here at today's Keels and Wheels. And we're getting ready to wrap things up here in just a few minutes. Frank, let me shake your hand as well, if you don't mind. Thank you. It was a pleasure. I wanted to give you another couple of stories before we leave. It's story time. So I need to see 50.
Did you hear that
2 + 2.
Ram has announced that they're probably going to produce an electric pickup truck in 2024?
Yes, I did know that. And a group representing auto suppliers told U.S. lawmakers on Tuesday it opposes setting a firm date to end the sale of new gasoline-powered passenger cars and expects those vehicles will be sold at least for another 20 years. Hey, I don't think we'll be around in another 20 years. We made it all the way, so that's a good thing. Governor of a dozen U.S. states, including California, New York, Massachusetts, North Carolina, and many U.S. lawmakers have called on President Joe Biden to back ending sales of new gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035. Morons. California said in September it planned to end sales of new gas-powered passenger vehicles by 2035. Good. Well, I think that's exactly what you need to do. By the way, NHRA announces the addition of new electric vehicle class to the Summit ET series for 2022. Yeah. Well, I mean,
they've been practicing with it. They've got a couple of them out there right
Gartlett
now.
has his electric stuff going.
Yeah. Federal judges agreed to delay a competency hearing to determine whether former Reynolds & Reynolds CEO and Houstonian Bob Brockman can assist in his defense against tax evasion charges. Judge Hanks on Wednesday signed an order moving the scheduled competency hearing from June 29th to September 13th. Brockman, 79, was taken to the emergency room in Houston Methodist Hospital on March the 14th. He's out now.
How convenient.
I got a feeling that Bob ain't going to make it to trial, is my guess. Then the Volkswagen story. Oh, my God, here we go.
It's still going.
Yeah. Securities and Exchange Commission has opened an inquiry into the U.S. unit of Volkswagen Group over a marketing stunt in which it falsely said it was, turn the page, Don, they're all stuck together. not because of that. Changing its name in the United States to Volkswagen. A person briefed on the matter confirmed to Reuters company in March apologized for a false statement it issued about a phony name change was widely slammed on social media. The stunt, which came ahead of April Fool's Day, was meant to call attention to its EV efforts, the car maker said. They are in so much trouble because of the Volkswagen thing.
Well, speaking of electric
Don't
cars,
go into the story because I have to take a break, so you just have to wait. We'll be back right after this. You have the list.
You got the list, baby.
There's the list right here.
And while we're waiting for the list, Ford's supposed to reintroduce the Lightning as an electric pickup.
I think it's Bayway.
Here you go.
There's the list.
Right here. Right there. See the time? See the time there? See what time it says that you want to take the break?
You ain't got no time.
You ain't got no time.
Because of inclement weather, the Tailpipes and Tacos December cruise-in was canceled. Darn it. The winter returns in the spring. Expect a new and exciting way to enjoy the gathering. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's unique Saturday morning cruise-in, and with a new quarterly format, you'll have more time for car mods and to get ready for cruise-in trophies. Yup, you can compete for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and more. And the top car will be featured on a full-size poster that'll be used to promote the next event. Bragging rights are guaranteed here. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all participants and visitors who made the event an exclusive, fun gathering of unique cars, trucks, hot rods, and lots of muscle. And we know you'll enjoy it even more in 2022. Tailpipes and Tacos will still be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, just south of I-10 at Kingsland Boulevard on 99, the Grand Parkway. Stay tuned right here to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and we'll tell you the exact date for the next event. Until next time, be sure to visit the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, where you'll find the best fajitas this side of California. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
This is the award-winning Car Talk Show, In Wheel Time. Just ahead, we talk with Michael Thomas from Pennzoil.
Maybe.
About...
I haven't found him yet.
Now, Mars gives me this list of guests that we're going to have. And then he tells me, as we're about to get to him, that no,
he's not answering he's not on it. He's not answering his text.
Well,
I'm looking.
So that's your problem.
I'm
Mars.
working on it, though.
Well,
I was trying to save you.
His publisher
little
said
bit.
it was good to go. So
Mars,
blame
you're
it on
not
them.
saving me anything.
He's trying to
not
save
Mike's
you
fault.
embarrassment,
Giving
Don.
me the headache.
I'm
is
on
what
Mike's
it is.
side with this.
We're going to review our featured vehicle of the week, the Acura TLX. We've got your weekly cruise-in calendar. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. Or should I say Mike No-Show Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's hot around these parts.
How hot
It's not
is
too
it?
hot.
It's as hot as Simone Biles trying to get into the Olympics.
So what's your opinion on that?
No, don't go there. Don't go there. We started that. We
Get
don't wanna
your
hear
butt
it.
out there and play.
Okay. Well, Conrad and I feel that our mental capacity right now, we need to leave the show.
I think that here, I can take care of that. Let's see. You're off.
Bye-bye.
And you're off. Mars, it's just you and me. No, I'm sorry.
No, we got Mr. Thomas is. Hang on, don't go away yet
Okay, why?
because I'm working on it. He's here. I just got to get him logged in.
Okay, yeah. No, absolutely not. You sir are a non-entity on this show because you exited yourself out of there.
No, I didn't.
Hey guys,
I
can you
helped.
hear me?
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
we
but we can
can.
kind of see.
Yeah, we got
just from the nose down.
Yeah, we got about half your
You got
camera's
something
gone.
blocking your camera.
Yeah.
It's half the camera. Hold on, guys.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's
Put
see
him up
something.
there, Mike. Jeff, put him
Jeff.
up there.
Hold on, guys.
There you go. There he is.
It's kind of like Mac's headroom here.
Hold on. Can you guys see me?
We
Well,
can see. We
We
can
can
your
see you
nose
from
down.
the nose down.
Hold on a second.
That's
We need to
it is a
Looks
mighty
like you
fine
got
nose.
something over the top of the camera. Something
Yeah.
blocking
Let-
the
see,
top
you
of the
know what?
camera.
I got two cameras, but you know what? Let's just turn one off, and hopefully you can see me here. Let me turn this.
I'm going to
one
leave it
off.
on because this looks fun.
Hey,
It's
guys.
like, guess who this is?
Yeah.
It's the mystery man.
What's
from
my
Pim's
line?
We'll reveal them at the end of the show.
There you go. Hey, give me about 3 seconds, fellas.
Okay.
1, 2.
A 3. It's,
Voila!
Hey!
all right.
There he is.
Ta-da.
Okay, guys.
Hey, you apparently have gone to the Jeff Zekin
Hey,
and
hey,
Mike Mars
hey.
School of Zooming.
Zooming.
That's it.
Oh my goodness! You guys see me clearly because this is wild. This is just too wild for words. Let's make sure.
Well-
enough light. Hey, enough lighting for me. I'm not too.
No,
you're good.
You
You're
look
good.
beautiful. You could tilt the camera down just a little bit because you got a little max headroom going on there.
There you go.
A little bit more. There you go.
And now we
Yeah.
can see the Pennzoil logo on the shirt and everything. There you go.
There
Perfect.
you go.
Perfect.
And you're in your gaming chair. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
And guys, can you see that? I hope it's not backwards.
There you go.
Talking
There
about
you
cars
go.
for hours. Yeah.
I can talk cars all day long.
That's what we do all the time.
Oh, my goodness.
At least 3.
So Michael Thomas is Mr. Pennzoil, and we are so glad to have you here, man. Thanks for taking your time on Saturday morning to join us, hey?
Oh man, I'm loving it. I love this. Anytime.
Hey, where are you located physically?
I am in Houston, Texas.
Okay,
Awesome.
good.
Okay.
Well, so are we, kind of. We're out here in Sugar Land, so we're not too
You
far
guys
away.
in Sugar Land. Oh, jeez. We've probably seen each other if we go to any car functions.
Absolutely, we have.
Houston
yeah.
Auto Show or any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cars and coffee.
Cars
all
and coffee.
that?
You're going to go to Coffee and Chrome tomorrow at Prince's Hamburgers at the Sharpstown Golf Course?
Well, I guess I will go now. I have to pull out the. I'm gonna have to pull out the Mark 1. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
there you go.
Starts at 9 o'clock.
So we want to talk to you about lots of things, mainly
Yes.
Pennzoil, if that's okay. We can focus in on that.
Okay.
And I wanted to, first of all, ask you about this new advertising campaign that you guys have, where you really focus in on Pennzoil is made from natural gas. I didn't know that.
Where you guys been?
Well,
We've been in Houston where they use oil.
We've been confined to. I understand.
Yeah,
Well,
but this line of oil has been out for a while.
I know, but we're
has.
clearly uneducated when it comes to this. So
Speak for
explain
yourself.
to me when it comes to oil
Okay.
for your car made from gas. How does that work?
Okay, made from natural gas. We got to throw that part in.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, this process has been around for many years. It's nothing new. Some people think it just came out of the woodworks, but it's not. We're talking several generations. We're looking at the same thing we cook on the stove, you know, kind of the natural gas on the stove
Yeah.
there. But we're talking this is pure out of the ground. And once this is pumped out, because again, I'm not one of the chemists. I'm one of what we call an old school gearhead. But you get the natural gas, and we're talking the droplets of natural gas is pure. We're talking it's not crude oil like the Texas tea, but this natural gas is pure. And when we get this out of the ground, you get the droplets, which are clear, 95.5% pure of any of what we call the contaminants and impurities that you have to filter out when you get crude oil and do all that process just to get it ready to put the other additives in it so we can put it in our cars. But it's already clean. Now, once we get that, and we're talking clear, pure, what we used to call it pure plus technology, or gas to liquid. Once we get that, we don't have to go through that whole process. It's already clean. That base oil is unbelievable to be so clean. Then you add your other additives, your friction modifiers, anti-foaming agents, and all the other additives that you need to have for motor oil to do its job. So again, that base oil, 80% of motor oil is made of base oil. 20% is made of the additive package that you have to add to it. So again, base oil is, up to a lot of people say, what base oil is the most important part of motor oil.
Right.
And that's what our full synthetic, our Pennzoil Platinum and Pennzoil Platinum Ultra is made of that base oil, which it seems to be pretty superior if you look at it. If we get into the racing side of the business and all of that on how that oil is in the winning circle, quite a bit. Just that base oil, which everybody can get. We can get that from, the local parts store.
And, and your new these new brands are all SP certified for the latest API certification that's out there.
You better believe it. We are usually the first when it comes to meeting the what we call the current American Petroleum Institute rating. Because if you take, for instance, you got the new ILSAC rating, which is GF6.
European.
Definitely. And that is, we're looking at lower, or I would say thinner viscosities. Some of us, a lot of the old school guys that called me on my technical hotline, they're all worked up because, hey, I don't think this thin oil is going to cut it in my. You're looking at engines and technology now. We're not talking about our old big block, small block cast iron engines we played with years ago.
You're talking about 0.16 weight is factory fill.
See, what we used to refer to back in my day as sewing machine oil.
Right,
that really thing.
Very much
yes.
So. But that
3 in 1.
0.16 factory fill on quite a few.
The can that goes.
But guys, we have to meet. I tell guys all the time, look, I'm old school. I was all about 2050 and 1040. I used to do a lot of drag racing in Virginia back in the day, in the 70s. So I'm telling you, I said, look, right now, we have to go by the rules. These engines, we're talking aluminum alloyed engines, clearances and tolerances are tight. You guys know. So we have to meet the what we call the new. And I'm going to be honest, we are always on top of things. We're not trying to brag too much. But again, we're the first guys to come out with the 0W16 in North America to meet the CAFE, the corporate average fuel economy specs that are out there. Your oil has to meet those criterias.
Well,
so and then I can keep on talking, guys.
Yeah.
Another thing about the new SP oil specification has to do with LSPI, which is low speed pre-ignition. All engines ingest a little bit of oil just in their normal operation.
Pass the rings.
As the compression ratio has raised in the engine, you will get those oil droplets will ignite like a diesel oil would and create a spark knock problem at low speeds. So this latest oil specification is about reducing this LSPI problem that lots of manufacturers.
Doesn't that cause the carbon in the wall and the cylinder?
Yep. That causes the carbon packing in the ringland area, which creates more blow-by, which creates more oil droplets in the induction system.
So it
more
compounds
LSPI.
itself.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question about the SP. Now, folks don't know, the consumer doesn't know, but there's SP on all kinds of oil, even the cheap stuff, the 98 cents a quart type thing.
They meet
if
that.
you look at the SP on the back of a cheap bottle of oil, some of them say not for engine consumption. I've read that. It's a true statement. If you look at some of the oil that's out there that's really inexpensive, cheap, it does say that. Because when I worked for the distributor, we used to laugh at that. I had another one, but never mind. I'll think of it here in a second.
No problem. I like the fact that you brought it. This won't take but like a second. Like you said, the low speed pre-ignition. We have been on top of that from day one when our certain EcoBoost type of engines and the GM boys talking about bent rods. And I got to tell you guys, I've seen it, and it's amazing just by it. And I have to brag again, Pennzoil with this natural gas base oil pretty much eliminated that right off the bat. Because you had to reformulate your oil. The other guys had to reformulate their oils because, again, when this happened, when you had your S, we're looking at SN. This was happening in SN category in 2012, 13, 14, 15. And then pretty much oil was tested. We were right there. They had to come out with an SN plus.
Right.
Tell
which
everybody,
is
please.
The middle one before
which is
before
gone.
they did SP.
But definitely, you have to have that SP oil category to meet these
Do you guys still
standards.
Do you guys still have your research lab up there in the Woodlands?
No, we don't. I was there living in the Woodlands at that research lab, but we are on the west side because, again, we are part of Shell. With Shell.
Okay, so you're out there at the
and-
Highway 6 Research Center.
Exactly. We closed our Woodlands research lab about 18, 19 years ago.
Well,
we're-
talk about old school, Don.
That's right, Don. So we're out here in this huge one out here at Highway 6
Yep.
out here in West Houston.
No
Yep,
wonder he
again.
can't get in.
The key doesn't work anymore.
It don't work.
Well, another thing Pennzoil's real big on, and
Yes.
mainly because we're kind of car nuts as well.
Yes.
You guys do a ton of automotive sponsorship, motorsport sponsorship.
Yes.
Whether it's
Yes.
NHRA, and I believe at NHRA it's the
Oh, of course,
it's
Don
the
Schumacher
Schumacher
Racing.
team, right?
We're already knocking that out of the park
Right.
with our top fuel dragsters and funny car crew.
Right.
That's Don. Not to mention Penske Racing.
Right.
Our oil was in the winner's circle at Indy just this past couple of months.
What
So,
kind of oil does an Indy engine run?
You know what? You have to use an oil right off the shelf. This is what Indy states. So it uses a 0W20 racing oil that you can order it on Amazon.
Do they
because you
really?
have to-
Seriously?
it's a racing oil. And again, that's what they state. If you're going to have an Indy car, you got to have an oil that can be picked up by the average.
I learned
Joe
something
guy.
new. That's
I'll be
that's
darned.
that's
No,
pretty cool.
Hey guys, it's expensive. but you can get it.
Money
But
is
you
no
can't-
object on
There's
any
no object when it comes to racing.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
It's not like Penske doesn't have deep pockets.
oh my goodness. And think about it. We're in the Hennessy, John Hennessy, who's about to get out here and try to break that land speed record again. Because it's been back and forth.
Is he going to go back? Is he going to go back to Hanford, California?
I don't know exactly, but I know he's got our Pennzoil again, our full synthetic with natural gas to run that again, because he did it. He did it a while back
in the Venom, yeah.
And the Venom, definitely.
So I have to ask you.
Yes.
I have to ask you about Mobile One. I know it's not your brand, but do you have a competitor to Mobile One?
yeah.
Yes, our Pennzoil Platinum or our Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. People ask, hey, you got two of them. Our Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, made from natural gas, has a more robust detergent. That's what you find. And you got to remember, guys, we're factory filling all the Hellcats, all the Demons, Ferrari, Maserati. It's a number of big boys we factory fill. So, I mean, people ask me all the time. I get that question on my technical hotline. Oh boy, can you beat Mobile? We don't sit out here and bash anybody. Mobile makes a good oil, but I got to tell you, their base oil is not ours. So you're looking at my line of oils of made from natural gas. Oh,
Now
hands down.
Is Pennzoil the primary provider of natural gas derived oil in the automotive industry right now?
Yes, we are the guys that's doing that. We have the patents.
Though,
We have had the
though
patents.
the technology's been there a long time, you
Yes,
guys
it
are the
has.
ones that are big in the market.
Oh, we've
right.
been in the market for generations.
Well,
That's
I
what-
ask you about the Mobile One because my Corvette, now, mind you, the Corvette is 20 years old. But it has, on the oil filler cap, used
Sure.
Mobile One.
It's been there since 1994.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
And so,
right down that valve cover.
and so if I wanted to change and not use Mobile One, I could switch over to the Ultra, whatever it is.
Ultra.
Oh, you
yeah.
can use
Pennzoil
the Ultra Platinum 5W30 because that's what's going in
Right.
your vet.
Okay. And it wouldn't hurt hurt the warranty if I had such a
no,
thing?
no.
Hey, that 4718 spec that's been around for Corvettes for many years. That's what came out in the mid 90s. 47. Like I said, 4718M. That's the GM synthetic oil spec for your Corvettes. Blown that out of the water many years ago.
Because, I'll tell you, my dad,
Yes.
this is way back in the 1950s now, he
Yes.
was a Texaco Haviland guy. 10W30. If it didn't have 10W30 in it, it wasn't worth
My
running.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Be hard pressed finding 1030 today.
exactly.
Hey, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, and so when it came time for me to start owning cars, I kind of went in the Pennzoil direction, and
Yes.
somewhere along the way, I guess it was Corvette. I don't remember what it was, but somehow I thought, oh well, it says on the cap I need to use this particular brand, and I didn't even think that it would be okay to do switch brands. But now you're telling me it is okay.
No, it's simple.
It's no problem.
Yeah.
And some people say if I switch, something's going to happen. Seals are going to
No.
leak and all.
Horse hockey.
No. No, just switch, use a good filter, cruise on down the boulevard.
Don's talking about his dad. In old school, my dad would change the oil in the garage, and he would
Yes.
run 2 quarts of kerosene. He would fire up the car with
Yes.
kerosene to clean it out, and then drain that, and then put the oil back in.
Guys, I remember back in the day, I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I got to tell you, we had NASCAR tracks, we had dragsters, but I just remember the old timers years ago. Oh man, I'm gonna pour kerosene or pour automatic transmission fluid. Down to clean it out.
Well, no, this was in the actual crankcase. He put the kerosene.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
Not in
Gotta
the carburetor.
wash it out.
Yeah.
No, we're talking poured it down.
Oh.
To wash it out with the detergents
Yeah,
and automatic. No, no. So that was, you hear these things that the old guys used to do. Yeah, it works. Don't be pulling that stunt today.
Well, but you were saying earlier that your Premium Ultra has a higher level of detergency.
Yes.
which
Yes, it's-
answers all those questions. Because
Yes.
to me, oil, and I know for you, it does a whole bunch of other things, but to me, oil does three things: it cools, it cleans, and it lubricates.
That's right.
Keep it simple. I know there's a bazillion other things, and there's
No, but those are the simple things that oil has to do.
Right.
As simple as that. I'm telling you.
and part of the cleaning is a quality filter. If you're going out and buying a 79-cent filter, you're doing yourself a disfavor.
Well, and let me just throw this in there. I noticed in some of the stuff that we checked in on you about that. There now is a Pennzoil Platinum that helps extend engine life and protects up to 15 years or 500,000 miles. Now, protection and actual oil changes are two different things. You don't need to run the same oil. For 500,000 miles. I just wanted to make that clear.
You have to make that clear because some people literally read that, look at that and think, oh boy, I could just leave it in forever.
Yeah, I never have to change my oil.
Oh, let me tell you, I've heard that over the years because we've had like the 100,000-mile one and different things. Like that, and people, I can leave it. No, it's not. That's not how it's written there. Yeah. So we have to explain.
Read the whole thing.
Well, what? What is your opinion of some of these manufacturers that are going with the extended oil change intervals? 10,000 is pretty common, but now you're starting to see some going to 15 and 20,000.
Of course, as you see some of the European vehicles, but you got to look at it. Technology in motor oil is not the same as it was 15 years ago. You think about just what 18 years ago, 3 months, 3,000 miles on the vehicle.
Right.
Right now, we're talking about like our motor oil and even including the other rest of the guys, you have to meet the new requirements, formulations, and these oils can do it. Think about it. The engineers, the OEMs engineers have already ran these engines through the mill with these oils under severe conditions. So again, look at. Let me tell you this quick story. I just want to take a second. Got a fellow who had an old Buick. We're talking like 1998 Buick. LeSabre. Bought a brand. I'm telling you, but he bought a brand new LaCrosse, and this older gentleman is so used to changing every 3 months, 3,000 miles. He calls me up and says, Mike, 'I'm going crazy. What's wrong? My oil life indicator is showing I got 10% left, and I've already got almost 8,000 miles on this. I'm afraid. I said, look. The OEMs are stating that you can go that. It's not going to hurt anything. The motor oil definitely can do those requirements. Don't worry if you want to change it sooner, go right ahead.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
It's a small insurance policy, but the thing about the extended oil change the customer has to be aware of, the owner's manual says check your oil level every time you fill up with oil. We started this conversation earlier talking about low-speed pre-ignition and how engines burn oil. Well, you got to check your level, because if you're going to try and go 10,000 miles, you may come up short.
Yep. And today in the owner's manual,
and that's not the cause of the oil. That's just the natural function of the engine.
Right.
That's right. That's like BMW. They got in bold letters. You're going to be losing oil before you get to that. 10,000 miles.
And
So you better add accordingly.
Right.
People don't know that the W in the nomenclature stands for winter.
That's right. A lot of people still think it's weight, but
Right,
it's
it's
winter. When think about it, when that W came about. The scene way back in the early 60s when they came out with the multi-viscosity motor oils.
Yep.
Wow.
They had the commercials with it. Yep.
Real quick, Michael, before we run out of time, you mentioned you were a drag racer. So were you out at the Spring Nationals this year in Baytown?
Look, let me tell you, I didn't make it this time because due to the fact of, the scare. What's going on? So I didn't. I'm usually always there. At the Spring Nationals constantly, and but I plan on being to the one because guys, it's going to be the last one.
Yep.
The last one. And they're going to close it down and put storage space out there.
And we'll be there live. And we want to invite you on the show when we're there live.
I will be right there, fellas.
We'll be inside the Top Eliminator Club.
Michael, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you. So much. It's a pleasure to meet you and talk to you, and we'll have to have you back on soon.
Oh man, I love it. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys,
all right,
fellow gearheads, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Thanks a lot.
You bet. Thank you.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
He's excited about his product,
Yeah,
but you can also tell he's a car guy.
And he knows his product.
Oh yeah, very well.
Okay, time now for the cruise in calendar. We've got several of those coming up. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to make my way over to Craig Bierman. Cruise in called Chrome and Coffee over at the Prince's at the Sharpstown Golf Center, which is a city-owned park, but Prince's Hamburgers has a little hamburger stand in there.
Cool.
The final Princes of all time.
Only one.
So Saturday, August 14th. Is going to be the Knights of Columbus Spring Fling in Rosenberg, Texas. Usually that's a very big turnout show, 250, 300 cars. Houston Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's is going to be August 29th at 11 a.m. On September 18th, the North Houston Cruisers charity show for the lone survivors is going to be at Rudy's Barbecue on Highway 249 in Tomball. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. with awards given out for 60 plus categories. And it's going to be $20 to pre-register, $25 to register at the show. The 50th anniversary celebration of the Houston Community College Automotive Program is going to be at the Northeast College Saturday, August 24th. That's 8,000 1 Fulton Street. Setup for cars will be from 9:30 to 10:30, and then they'll have the awards and stuff will be given out at 1:30.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Lots of stuff coming. Up.
All right, time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive recently the 2022 Chevy Silverado. Yeah? It's the half-ton pickup truck from Chevrolet. Here are the trim levels, the LT, the RST, the LT Trail Boss, the ZR2, the LTZ, and the High Country. I had the limited LTZ. It's a standard pickup truck, half-ton, full-size. It seats 5 passengers, including the driver. Completely redesigned for 2019, and they continue to add tweaks. To it for 2022. Instead of the masked headlights that you may be familiar with the latest model. models. Well, the new 2022 headlights are slimmer, and are at the top of the mask instead of the mask kind of cutting between the headlight. Not so concealed venting for brakes right off the front bumper on either side. Tall hood on this. Nice wheels and optional retractable side step running boards. What I liked about it, the multi-flex tailgate now is only a $260 option. Get it. What could use improvement? Not sure. Interior highlights, nicely designed dash, very linear in nature. Huge center console, dual glove boxes, and a passive phone charger. And boy, do I like that. Just throw the phone in there and it automatically charges. You don't have to hook it up to anything. As far as storage room in the interior is concerned, it has fold-up rear seats that have a storage bin beneath them. What I liked about it, the even lower trim levels have a similar layout. You know, so many times before in the past, the lower trim levels really get cheap. Not so much on this one. 3-liter inline turbocharged 6-cylinder, which is an optional engine. It has 207 horsepower, but it has 460 pound-feet of torque, which is great for towing. 10-speed automatic transmission in this one. Tow rating 13,300 pounds. Haul rating up to almost 6,000 pounds. Now, of 24. I got 23.7. What I liked about it, mileage for a truck. Don't get that too often these days. Best you can usually do is about 16 city and maybe 20 on the highway. This one considerably more. What could use improvement? Making it feel more like a V8. Doesn't quite feel that way. Ride and handling, loved it. Rides pretty smooth for a pickup truck with the solid rear axle. What could use improvement? Optional independent rear suspension. I don't know about that. Then it increases the price. There are a lot of other things that go along with changing the rear suspension. So let's just leave it as it is. Super Cruise, though, is now available on many of the Chevy Silverado models. That's the automated driving thing that General Motors has, that they have been perfecting on the Cadillac. Base trim price $53,300. Price is tested $64,485. Yeah, this one is loaded out. Base model price, however, is only $33,000 if you want to get into a stripped down Chevy Silverado. Well, obviously the Ford F-150 starts at $33,500. The Toyota Tundra goes for $37,645. These are starting prices, and the Nissan Titan starts at $39,680. Overall, good review here on the 2022 Chevy Silverado. Again, it was the limited LTZ, right? Underneath the top of the line High Country. If you're in the market for a half-ton pickup truck, I'd suggest you definitely put this on the shopping list and compare it to other models. In the same class. And that's the review of the 2022 Chevy Silverado. Because of inclement weather, the Tailpipes and Tacos December cruise-in was canceled. Darn it. The winter returns in the spring. Expect a new and exciting way to enjoy the gathering. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's unique Saturday morning cruise-in, and with a new quarterly format, you'll have more time for car mods and to get ready for cruise-in trophies. Yeah. You can compete for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and more. And the top car will be featured on a full-size poster that'll be used to promote the next event. Bragging rights are guaranteed here. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all participants and visitors who made the event an exclusive, fun gathering of unique cars, trucks, hot rods and lots of muscle. And we know you'll enjoy it even more in 20. Tailpipes and Tacos will still be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex. In Katy, just south of I-10 at Kingsland Boulevard on 99, the Grand Parkway. Stay tuned right here to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and we'll tell you the exact date for the next event. Until next time, be sure to visit the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, where you'll find the best fajitas this side of California. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? You found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000. And we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@nwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Live from Studio A in Texas, USA, this is the award-winning car talk show In Wheel Time. Coming up, we're going to review our featured vehicle of the week, the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. We got your weekly cruise-in calendar. Conrad as This Week in Auto History, and we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's all just ahead on this hour of Time Car Show. Howdy. Along with Mike out of this cars. Conrad DeLong. We need more, Jeff Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this. Thank you so much. much. It's kind of a pleasant morning here. We're supposed to have storms later on today. Just thought I'd bring that up. 70% chance.
Then you don't have to fly. Oh, I'm sorry. You were flying till midnight last night.
Yeah.
Staring at the Academy and all the crazy people who couldn't wait till this morning. To go buy their T-shirt. They had to buy it last night.
I have to tell you, it is truly amazing the number of people that were in line at all of these academies that we flew over. I mean, long lines of people. And when they finally opened after the ball game, you know, they would only let a few people in at a time, and apparently they had all of the Astro stuff kind of up front.
In boxes, by size.
And man, they were running them through there to lick. Split.
Yep.
It was really amazing, and there's pretty good merchandise. But I was a little bit taken aback by the $35 baseball caps.
Oh.
And they sold everyone.
Probably so. I'm going, oh my
Flat
God.
bills.
Who came up with that word lickety split? Where'd that come from?
I don't
Not
know.
really sure.
It's an old term.
But so you flew over all the academies, and there wasn't anybody at the Dick. Sporting Goods.
No,
was there?
nobody.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. No. Dicks.
Well, the problem with that is they don't sons, and this is Texas. We want our guns, but congratulations, Astros
And Academy.
Yeah,
and Academy.
And congratulations to Trevor Scott with Ford Motor Company and the new Maverick hybrid. Trevor,
Thank you, gentlemen.
how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Well, very good. Where are we speaking to you from?
I am in the Detroit area.
In the Detroit area.
Oh,
Very nice.
I wish Tigers were successful as your Astros.
Did you stay up and watch the game last night?
I did. I'm a big baseball fan. So.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Congrats to Houston. Absolutely rooting for you guys.
Well, I think the Lions are doing good in it. Texans, so congratulations on that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
well, we
We're still winless here in Detroit.
Well, we've got one win. But we don't care. We don't care. Nobody goes to the games anymore.
I was going to
Well,
say.
I think that they're
can't afford to.
what is it? They had maybe at the most a few weeks ago 30,000 people inside
In a 75,000
Yeah.
seats.
Yeah. So well, enough of that. That's not why we called. That's not why we wanted to rattle the cage up. Up there in Detroit today. We want to find out about the new Maverick. First of all, I don't think a lot of people know what the Maverick is. Why don't you get going here for us and explain everything to us?
Yeah, absolutely. So Maverick it's all new for our 22 model year. Very much a white space product. It's a compact pickup. So picture old generation Ranger, approximately that size. It slots right below our current generation Ranger in our Built Ford Tough lineup. But the beauty of Maverick is it's the full package. It's a standard hybrid powertrain. And the great news this week is based on EPA certification, delivers 42 miles per gallon in the city.
Wow.
As our standard powertrain offering. It's built on a unibody design. And the beauty of that is it actually increases the overall interior cabin space, gives you sort of small SUV ride and handling. But then we also have all of the Built Ford Tough capability that you would expect from a towing and payload perspective. So it's kind of the perfect package for the customer that needs a smaller truck, something that they can maneuver around a busy city or even park it in their garage, but still needs that, that towing and payload capability. And that's the beauty of Maverick.
Well, let's go back just a little bit here, and let me just give you my 2 cents. And I wasn't real thrilled with the naming of the Mach-E Mustang. But I have to tell you that – I noticed that you brought back the Maverick brand, and I like that. That fit.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you guys can imagine, we do quite a testing when we're talking about an all-new nameplate. And certainly for Maverick, we're expecting a younger customer. That's what we've seen thus far. We started shipping our available 2-liter EcoBoost Mavericks in the middle of September. And we are seeing a younger customer coming in looking at that product. And certainly when we were talking about naming the Maverick, we had that younger customer in mind.
Well, and I have to tell you that, of course, I'm old enough to know about the Maverick history, and I just thought it was brilliant because it kind of fits in with the Mustang, the Bronco, all of that whole horse theme, and it just works.
Equine.
Okay, fine. Great.
Works perfect. Fits in perfect.
I'll leave it to our scholar over here,
really.
Mr. Conrad DeLong, to come up with that term.
He's got a veterinary
So
degree.
what is the planned production numbers? And I think we asked you this last time, and you kind of sidestepped it a little bit. Are you allowed to talk about them now?
Well, I mean, like we always say when it comes to production, we build the demand. But what I will tell you, one of the other important announcements that went out this week alongside the EPA fuel labels, which again are 42 miles per gallon in the city, 37 miles combined for that standard hybrid powertrain. Is we communicated up front when we revealed Maverick back in June that we were only expecting to build about 40% of our overall hybrids as Maverick. Or I should say 40% of our Mavericks as hybrids, I apologize. And we are very close to being sold out for the full 22 model year.
Wow.
So one of the things that we want to make sure that customers that are potentially interested in that standard hybrid is that they're getting into their dealerships today to place their retail order, because we are very very near this potentially this early November. I'm going to be sold out of 22 model year Maverick.
Hey, Trevor, I gotta go ahead and interrupt you here and just say you need to talk to the boss and say, hey, man, I need to build more of those,
Absolutely. But I think the great news too is our available 2-liter EcoBoost engine, great performance, great fuel economy. This is also where customers can get available all-wheel drive, as well as our off-road FX4 package, our 4,000 towing package. That engine is available. It's in dealerships today. So customers can certainly look at that as an available powertrain option as well.
And let me tell you something, I have to agree with you that it is a great powertrain. I'm currently in a Ford Ranger that has the 2-liter EcoBoost in it. And I really do like that motor. It's just a perfect fit for that size, and it's got plenty of horsepower.
Well, and torque, which is surprising because that's what you need in the truck. Is it's got a pulling power to it that really surprises you.
Yeah. So and the hybrid is all that much more better. I mean, I just really think that the way to go these days is the hybrid. So tell me a little bit about the hybrid system in the Maverick.
So our standard hybrid is a 2.5 liter Atkinson cycle. It's mated to a continuous variable transmission, delivers 191 horsepower combined, 166 pound-feet of torque. So plenty of performance for that standard powertrain, but again, it's all about the fuel efficiency. It's about the 42 miles per gallon in the city.
Wow.
And obviously that's why customers are looking at it, is because of that fuel efficiency.
All right.
It is available in a front-wheel drive only, and it's our available 2-liter EcoBoost where you can get the all-wheel drive capability.
So compared to, and I just use the F-150 since it is a half-ton pickup truck. How does it compare as far as, towing, hauling? Obviously it's on a much less scale because first of all, it's a crossover type, but I mean, where does it rank in all of that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the level of capability is going to be right sized to the size of the truck.
Right.
So Maverick, you're talking about standard, you're talking about standard towing capability of 2,000 pounds, which again, that's that's towing a couple of jet skis, and for this size truck, that's kind of the perfect level of towing capability.
Yep.
You're talking about payload of 1,500 pounds.
That's
so again, plenty of payload and towing capability, even at that standard powertrain offering with our hybrid.
Yeah, and what they're talking about is it's a stair step. What are your needs? If your needs are something that's fuel efficient,